Heroin is here and it's killing our kids, but we have people working together to battle this epidemic.
After I lost my son, I knew that I had to do something to help.
We're trying to change the stigma of persons suffering with the disease of addiction.
People need help, and that's what we're here for at the end of the day. It's not a bad guy pointing a gun at you. It's somebody who needs help.
Since 2010, I've noticed a massive increase in overdoses and deaths. Being on the front lines, I see this every day, and it's worse today than I've ever seen it in the entire time I've been working in this field. I've been an interventionist for almost 35 years. I was studying psychology at the University of Georgia, and I somehow thought if I went and studied psychology, it would help me not drink and do so many drugs. In some ways, I guess it did. It ended me up in treatment. The heroin triangle is an area about 20 minutes north of Atlanta. It's an area that is affluent. It's actually a shock to the community to find out that they had one of the highest death rates around the country from heroin overdoses. One of the things that I've seen happen in the heroin triangle, particularly in the Marietta area, has been a coming together of the community.
After I lost my son, we found that the biggest service gap of all was in the aftercare. In March of 2014, my son Davis had just completed a 21-day rehabilitation stay. 6 weeks after he left the rehab, that drug just kept calling his name one night. We discovered that 9 out of 10 people who come out of either incarceration or rehabilitation would relapse. And so the zone began to take form.
The Zone is an amazing community resource where people in recovery have a safe place to also begin to learn how to go and get a job, how to get back out into the community.
Heather has brought such a tremendous support. She educates us about ethics. She keeps us up with what's happening throughout the nation.
It wasn't until about 2014 we started getting calls for needles in the parking lots of different apartment complexes. And we realized it was a thing that we had to get in front of pretty quickly.
When the zone opened, Josh was one of the first guys over here. When he parks his police van up in the very front of the doors, it says, "This is a safe place and you better not mess with it."
Pretty early on, we developed a relationship with the zone. I think Missy is a champion. I think she is on the forefront of something wonderful. You know, officers understand when people need help, and we try to do what we can to help that, help that person through their situation.
On August 3rd, 2016, I was released from jail and have been clean ever since. It wasn't anything that I would have said was a specific event that turned me into an addict all of a sudden. When I was selling, it was 24 hours a day. There was no point in time that I wouldn't be high. About 2014, that's when I started actually getting in major trouble. Police were not my friends at all. It was seen as, the black pieces versus the white pieces on the chessboard. When I first met Sergeant LIEDKE, it wasn't like he was judging me. He was legitimately interested in what I had to say, and I definitely consider that man a good friend at this point. He's what allows me to tell people, not all cops are bad.
With his past, he's a very valuable resource to me. He's willing to talk to me about things in his past, which educates me and helps me do my job. And for him to be sober for 2 years from such a powerful and gripping drug, and to be at the zone and working in sobriety and getting help for other people, he's invaluable. He's invaluable to the zone, he's invaluable to the community, and our relationship's awesome.
By helping everyone else, it lets us know where we were and we don't want to go back to.
Being able to get that 1 or 2 people that you come into contact with checked into detox or get somebody to the zone, it's those little things along the way that really make all that we're doing worthwhile.
I truly believe that the power of being in treatment for a long time is part of why I'm sitting here today. There's a lot of loss and a lot of death, particularly these days, but there are also a lot of people who are flourishing, recovering, and getting better.
This community will change, and we will all be a part of it.
I don't ride the back of these no more. I get to see that he's not just an officer. He's a lot like me. Oh, I got a story about this hotel.
I think we all do.